Are you ready to see the behind the scenes operation of my Airbnbs? We are about to go deep diving straight into the numbers to show you exactly what I'm earning, how I'm doing it, and how you can do it too. If you want financial freedom, time freedom, and want to leave a legacy for generations to come, you probably have heard real estate investing is the place to do that. How do you get started? What do you have to do? When's the right time? If you are looking for those answers, you've come to the right place. My name's Kyle Stanley, and this is Fearless Flipping. My mission is to help you learn this business and conquer real estate investing. Welcome into the show. I'm Kyle Stanley. This is the Fearless Flipping podcast, and I'm excited for you to be able to listen into today's episode on my Airbnb behind the scenes and how I'm working this thing as a business, how you can do the same thing. The reason I'm doing this today is it's the day after Christmas. I know a lot of you are with family still, probably not in the mode of listening to podcasts. I've got a lot of guests that have been on here that have great value to add, and I hate to put them on a podcast on a day that maybe not everyone's listening and a lot of people miss it. So I'd rather just talk about something I'm passionate about, and if you get the value out of it, that's great. If not, well, at least you got another episode next week, right? So here's the deal. We are going to go into that in a second here. I'm really excited to show you the numbers. I'm going to show you how you can be doing this yourself. And I'm going to give you an invite that is going to allow you to take your Airbnb either journey or business to the next level. So stick with me, stay to the end here. We're only going to do this for about 15 minutes. But first of all, as usual, we've got to give a shout out to those that are engaging in our show. This time it was a text message from a friend of mine, Ron McLean. He said, great podcast the last two times. Very helpful to see the importance of networking and relationships. Value added for sure. Ron is referring to the podcast that we had last week with both Bria Johnson. That was an awesome one. And then I talked about how one relationship helped me make over $50,000 in my first year in real estate investing. It was a domino effect. It helped to lead to other relationships that helped me to take down deal after deal. But it all started with one relationship. So if you didn't see either of those shows, make sure to go back into the archives, check those out. And we are going to jump now today into my favorite subject, which is Airbnb. And for those of you that haven't heard my full story, this is the chance that I'm going to give you to hear and see my full story. So for those of you that are listening on the podcast, the first thing I'll say is I'm going to do as good of a job to paint a visual for you as possible. But if you have the chance to pause this and go over to the YouTube channel right now so that you can see the visual, I'd really encourage you to do that. So before I get into sharing my story, before I get into the numbers, I want to share my story. And I want to tell you exactly how Airbnb has become now this money machine for me that is helping me make money in my sleep. And I'm putting virtually no time, no effort into it. We're going to get to that first so that you can then see the numbers and get excited. So I got introduced into Airbnb in 2015, just bought a new house. And my friend told me about this thing he was doing with one of his apartments that he was living in, and how he was making like $7,000 in the last 5 months by renting out one of the rooms in his apartment. And whether that was legal or not, I don't know, but he was doing it. And I was like, wait, you made $7,000 in 5 months. How did you do that? What's this Airbnb thing? He told me that it was, strangers that will sleep in your room or sleep in your next room. And, you just got to make sure the beds are made and everything. And I was like, that sounds really sketchy. But then he laid out the numbers for me, told me what he was making, and I was like, okay, I'll take a look at it. So in Scottsdale, Arizona, for basically the better part of 2 years, I was doing this as a house hacking method. I had two roommates in two of the other beds, and then one of the bedrooms I was doing Airbnb. I was even sometimes seeing the value of it so much, especially during like spring training in March, right next to a couple of the complexes over there. And I was like, hey, I'll sleep on the couch. You guys sleep in my room. So I would open up two listings and do this thing. And you'll see in a bit here when I show you the earnings, it was covering my mortgage, which is great. But in 2018, I went out of town for a weekend and I said, I keep going out of town all the time. And, some people are renting their entire place out on Airbnb. I bet that doesn't work, but I'll just try it anyway. So I was renting it out for like $40 a night with just a room. So I figured, okay, they get the kitchen, they get the living room to themselves, they get all this privacy, plus they basically have like 3 bedrooms. So why not do the entire house for 3 times the amount? So I threw it up there for $120 a night plus a like $90 cleaning fee. And I was like, no one's going to book this. All 3 days got booked. $450 in my pocket, wasn't even there that weekend. And I was like, how do I do that again? How do I scale this? How do I build more income? And I looked at all these things, and I got to tell you guys, in the beginning, I didn't take action because I was fearful. I was like, I was telling those things in my head. Maybe it was because it was a popular weekend. Maybe there was something going on in town that I didn't know about. Maybe, people will do that for a little bit, but it's not going to keep on going. I was just giving myself all these excuses not to do it. And then I said one day, what am I waiting for? So I ended up doing this in an apartment where I tested it out. I got the lease for the apartment, and boom, in the first 30 days, I had the first 3 months booked. And I was like, this is the real deal. Like, this thing can work. So that was back in May of 2019. So this year. And now fast forward 7 months later, I have 5 listings that are making me over $6,500 cash in my pocket after expenses every single month. And here's the best part. I have systems in place. I'm paying managers. I'm paying cleaning people. I'm doing all these things that are factored into those expenses. So after all of those expenses, I'm still making that $6,500. So I don't know about you, but $6,500 a month a year ago, not being in real estate and working 40 to 50 hours a week, would have been like a dream for me. And now I'm making $6,500 a month almost completely passively. And it allows me to go find flips. It allows me to go find real estate deals. It allows me to go find more Airbnbs to scale this and to live the kind of life that I have dreamed of. And I'm doing that right now. Like right now, if you didn't watch last week's podcast, it was the one about the one relationship making over $50,000. I made more in November and December of this year than I did in any full calendar year in any other business I'd ever done in my life. I've done a lot of things. I've been on the news. I was a sports anchor. I own my own business in sports videography. I was in multi-level marketing. I did a sales job for local schools for fundraising. I've done a lot of things in my life, and I've never seen that kind of return on anything else. And guess what? Nothing changed about me. Not drastically. Okay. I can say I've changed my mindset on a few things. I've changed what I think is possible. But in terms of the effort level that I was putting in, it was just focused onto the right thing, the thing that I knew I was going to be passionate about, the thing I knew that if I just use my strengths, which a lot of my strengths are networking, running numbers, managing timelines, a lot of those types of things worked with real estate and Airbnb. So with that being said, if you feel like that's the type of person that you are, you're going to really love what I'm about to show you. And you're going to love at the end here, the invite that I'm going to give you in order to help you elevate either your Airbnb journey or start your Airbnb journey. So I'm going to share my screen here. And again, for those of you that are listening on the podcast, I really, really, really want to encourage you to go over to the YouTube channel. But if not, I'm going to share my screen right now and give you as much of a visual as possible. So I'm on my Airbnb site right now. We are looking at the earnings for 2015. And all of 2015, you'll see I started in May. I got paid $145. And then by the end of the year, my best month was in December, and I was paid $369 in a month. So that's not going to get anyone excited. I'll be honest, with 2 roommates plus this extra income from Airbnb, it was nice, but I don't know about you. That doesn't get me excited. $48 in June, nothing paid in July. This is stuff that for most of you that are listening or watching out there, you're not going to get excited about an extra $50 to $370 a month. It makes a difference. But for me, here's why you'll see this 2016. My highest paid month was $1,900. That was great. March, told you that I was doing this in Scottsdale, Arizona. The entire year, I got paid $6,500. The biggest month was almost $2,000 in March because of spring training. But again, like some of these low months, July and August, nothing. December this time around was only $244. So these are things that for me, in the beginning, I just didn't know how to put the right listing up there. I didn't know how to make it different than people around me. 2017, much of the same. January was great. Things started to go down. It was just pretty average. As I'm looking at this, like the average month was right around $700 to $800. Again, if you're trying to help get paid for your mortgage, you want to rent out a room, that's exactly what I'm doing here. 2015 to 2018, that's all I was doing. But then this strange thing happened. So I'm on 2018 now, and I had just moved back to Fresno. And I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to do Airbnb anymore because I'm in Fresno and everyone wants to be in Scottsdale, but no one wants to be in Fresno. And if you're watching right now on the YouTube channel, you see that, hey, he's getting booked out in Fresno, like April, almost $700, June, $650, October, $1,300. And then this thing happened in November in Fresno, mind you, again, $1,748. Now, if you remember my story I told you just a bit ago, I had that epiphany of, I wonder what will happen if I put this on for an entire weekend. Well, that was November of 2018. So, and then I told you that I had all this fear up until May of the next year. Well, brace yourself here. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you're about to see something that will shock you. If you're listening on the podcast, give me a second. I'm about to hit 2019. Boom. $62,000 has been booked for 2019. Almost 57,000 that has already been paid, and there's about another $5,500 still to come as I'm making this here on December 19th. And I know this is airing the day after Christmas, but I didn't want to do this on Christmas Day. Sorry. So, fear. I'm looking at fear right now. January, $413. February, nothing. March, nothing. April, $520. May, $1,000. Okay. Now the real stuff hits in. June was when I got that apartment. $2,000 first month. Second month, $1,800. I saw it was working. I saw that this thing was getting booked. Bought 2 houses with my own money. In August, $9,000. September, $10,000 plus another 2 off the books from someone that was staying a little bit more long-term. So $12,000, guys, really legitimately 3 months into my Airbnb, full on pedal to the metal, like in first gear, second gear, third gear, whatever gear that is to go for this whole thing. $12,000 in month 3. And it just climbs. So we go to November, where it was my highest grossing month until this month, which is now over $15,000 gross with 5 different properties. Now, what does that look like here in Fresno? First of all, let me show you the profit and loss from November. Hey, Fearless Flipping community, we are taking a quick break from the podcast to talk about Airbnb. For those of you that don't know, I have built much of my residual income around Airbnb, despite a lot of other investors being really excited about long-term renters. I was not. I saw an opportunity with Airbnb to get to my goals faster, to get more cash flow, and to pay off my houses quicker too. So instead of being really happy like a lot of other investors are with $200 to $300 of cash flow every single month, I've turned my renters and rentals into over $1,000 on average of cash flow every single month. So if you want to learn more about Airbnb, my systems, where I pick my Airbnbs, how I communicate with guests. Maybe you've already got Airbnb as a business on the side right now, but you want to take it to the next level. I am absolutely here to help you. You can book a free consultation with me about Airbnb. Learn more by booking at fearlessflipping.com/consultation, and you get me for 30 minutes for free. That's right, 30 minutes absolutely free. That's once again, fearlessflipping.com/consultation, and I'm looking forward to helping you conquer Airbnb investing. My profit and loss statement in November, what I'm showing you right now, I had 4.5 places, quote unquote. I say 4.5 because what that is exactly is, I got to close a few things on my computer here. Sorry. With 4.5 places, I had one place that I got midway through November. So it was only open for legitimately like 10 days, but we'll just call it a half, and 7 doors. That means that 2 of the doors that I have of the 5 places are long-term tenants. So my total Airbnb rent for November was $13,303. After long-term tenants are added in there, the total combined rent with Airbnb and long-term tenants is $15,453. My expenses out of that were about 55, 60%. So $8,774 in expenses. My net profit in my pocket after all expenses, $6,679. That's after paying a manager. That's after paying VAs, virtual assistants. That's after paying a cleaning person. That's after paying my mortgages. That's after paying electric bills, gas bills, water bills, landscaping, pest, Wi-Fi, Netflix. It's everything. Still $6,679 in my pocket. Now, a lot of you are saying, but Kyle, you have to furnish the place. Kyle, you have to manage it. Kyle, you have to do all this stuff. I'm not going to go over all that right now. If you have questions like that, I'm going to give you a great invite at the end of this that will allow you to be able to get the answers to those questions. But what I need you to focus on right now is the vision, the numbers, and are you the kind of person that would A, like this, or B, can you see yourself being a person of running numbers, managing calendars, managing people, and kicking your feet up at the end of the day and saying, you know what? I'm making awesome money. I'm helping people. I'm employing people. And they are the ones that are worrying about this stuff, not necessarily me. So if that excites you, keep on watching. Now, what I also want to point out is this is not typical. I'm now back to the earnings, $62,000 in 1 year with really 5 listings for 40% of the year. That's not typical. How do I get to that point? How have I made myself more attractive to get more occupancy and to earn more money? So I'm going to show you my occupancy and earnings and how they compare to Fresno. So I'm going to put this to December 1st through December 31st. And actually, let's do November to December. And by the way, this has not been updated recently. I just got a couple new bookings yesterday. And what you're seeing in front of you is an occupancy rate of about 88%. The average market in Fresno is 55%. But my average here, 88%. And I'm even going to do I'm doing this off the cusp. I actually haven't seen this yet. Let's just say, for example, October, 95%. Boom. September, 96%. Holy cow. Going back though, I want to go to the current, which is, let's just focus on December. So December 1st to December 31st, 92%. Once again, it shows right now a few of these days are vacant. That actually is not the case. It hasn't updated itself yet. So it's probably closer to like 94 to 95%. The average market here in Fresno right now is 51%. How about nightly rates? My nightly rate average is $103 compared to 87 for the average market, which, by the way, if I'm booking more and I'm also charging more, then I'm winning way more. My profits are being compounded because of that. Everything that you'll see right now is either at or above market value. So how do I get to this point? How do I get to offering more, getting booked more, and earning more while all the other people average in Fresno are wondering, why am I not getting booked as much? Why can't I charge as much as some of these guys like Kyle? So what I can tell you is that this came from a lot of things. This came from finding the right systems, from getting the right cleaning person, doing the right communication, furnishing the place the right way, getting the best pictures, picking the best locations. All of that came with me learning the hard way. For 4 years, guys, I was learning the hard way. I was doing, and I'm going to go back to, where was that? That was on the earnings. It's loading. Okay, I don't know why it's taking so long, but while that is loading, okay, here we go. From 2015 until 2018, I mean, my highest grossing year was 2017 at $7,400. You know how many thousands of dollars I'm leaving off the table right there? And it was all because I had this very narrow tunnel vision of Airbnb is just for a room. It's just for a room. You're crazy if you're doing it for an entire house. Someone's going to steal your stuff. Someone's going to trash your place. No one's making money doing that. All of these doubts in my head because I never took the time to educate myself. I never took the time to find a mentor. I never took the time to second guess myself. And so for those reasons, I never had that opportunity to actually look and say, what am I missing out on? When I finally learned that, when I finally understood that, as you saw in 2019, wow, when this light bulb went off, I 10x'd my money and I 10x'd my systems and I 10x'd what I was doing at the level that I was doing at. So what I'm saying here is you need either A, time, education, and learning the hard way, or B, you can do exactly what I did in May of 2019, so 7 months ago, and say, who can help me? How can I go out there and do this better and boom, make $2,000 a month, make $9,000 a month, make $15,000 a month. My mentor right now is making six figures, like mid six figures a month doing Airbnb. And he's got like 30 different listings, but that's a completely different subject. So you right now are thinking, how do I get started? How do I take this to the next level? I know you are. You wouldn't have got this deep in the podcast or YouTube video if you weren't thinking that yourself. So what I want to do and wrap this up here is give you a very quick invite. And that invite is to get your Airbnb questions answered. If you're thinking right now, either you're wanting to start one, you just started, or you want to take yours to the next level, I'm going to give you two different options here. Number one is set up a consultation with me. 15 minutes, absolutely free. I'm going to give you my time. I'm going to give you the knowledge that I have. If I don't know the answer to that, I'm going to help you find a way to get the answer to that. But I just want to see you successful. Someone just asked me the other day, what's in it for you? Honestly, I've helped a lot of people for absolutely for free. And I've helped a lot of people who have paid me money. But at the end of the day, I just want to see people successful. So I'm willing to talk about something that I'm already passionate about, already excited about. And if you want to get excited about this and get some direction, in 15 minutes, I can guarantee you're going to know more than you did in the beginning. You're going to have some extra help. And then if you want my help from there on, we'll talk about it. But you also can join our Facebook group absolutely for free. If you're on Facebook, go to Airbnb Masterminds, and it's got a picture of this right here in front of you. If you're on the podcast, it says Airbnb Masterminds on the cover photo. And in that group, we do live Q&As. People post questions all the time. They're posting their successes. You're going to learn from a lot of different Airbnb gurus that are either learning along with you or doing this at a really high level. So again, fearlessflipping.com/consultation. You can book a consultation with me, or you can go to Facebook, Airbnb Masterminds, and you can get all your questions answered from other professionals beyond myself. So that's going to wrap it up for this day after Christmas episode of Fearless Flipping. I just want to make sure that when it comes down to what you are trying to accomplish with Airbnb, if you've gotten this far in the episode, you're probably in some level interested or a part of Airbnb already. If you're trying to get there, don't do it alone. Don't do like what I did the first 4 years and think it's just this and have this narrow mind and not expand your mindset because you don't have other people around you that are telling you otherwise. Get those people around you, whether that's me, whether that's getting on other podcasts. One of my favorites that I was just on the other day was the Get Paid for Your Pad with Jasper Rivers. Things like that to help you expand your mindset. And if you want to do it, if you want to get there, I'm living proof that as soon as I made that decision, I went from making a little bit of money every month to now 6 months later, 7 months later, $6,500 plus in my pocket with systems, with people, and after expenses. Like that's how quickly this can go. Okay. I've been a part of a lot of things. I've been a part of multi-level marketing. I've been a part of owning my own business. There's all these things, all these dreams that people have and all this vision that people cast for you that it's going to be simple. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to be simple. You can do this. Look at me. I've done this. I've never truly gotten to that point with anything else except for Airbnb and real estate investing. Now, that just might be because of my personality. I'm not going to sit here and say everyone can do that. But part of why I made this, the Fearless Flipping podcast and YouTube channel, is because I really believe that if I can do this, you can do this. So get out there and get on the Facebook group, book a call with me. We'll get you on the right track and we can help you conquer Airbnb investing. If I don't hear from you until the new year, have a happy new year, a safe new year. Please drink responsibly, and we will see you next time.